Hey everybody, welcome to episode 40 of Open Play Podcast. I'm here with most of the gang. Alex, Preston, and Mason are around. Say hi, guys.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi.
Howdy, howdy.
No Will this week. He is sick because one of the other local players gave him the plague, I guess, and he is out this week. So, let's talk hobby stuff. Anybody done any hobbying lately? The only stuff I've been working on is still my, now that I have extra time, I'm working on the model for a little thing. Basing's done, and I need to do a little bit more on the painting side, but otherwise it's done. I just got to glue it together. How about y'all? What y'all working on?
My model is completely done. I finished the base yesterday, and then I'm going to take a break for Thanksgiving, and once December rolls around, I'm going to get started on this AdMech army.
AdMech army? Do tell.
Yeah, one of our local guys had a kid, so he's selling off some of his stuff, and I picked up his AdMech army. Most of it's painted, some of it's not, and then I just got a couple models on my own, so should be fun.
How big of an army is it?
Well, it's AdMech, so it's probably like 4,000 models and 3,000 points.
True.
But it's about 3,000 to 4,000 points. I'm not exactly sure, but it's basically like 2 of every unit, so it's pretty sizable.
Oh, not bad, not bad.
So do you just like armies that everybody hates then? You know, Tau.
Bro, listen, nobody has ever hated AdMech.
AdMech players hated AdMech.
That's true. No one in 10th hates AdMech. 9th,
Yeah,
I'm sure
no one
there
in
was.
10th
Yeah.
hated it. AdMech.
I'm just going to need to get one of those iPads that people bring to games, but instead of using it to keep track of score, I'm going to use it as a spreadsheet to keep track of my like command phase buffs.
What about you, Mason? What you got going on?
So I messed up on my mini for our painting competition, and I had to strip part of it. Fortunately, it was still in sub-assembly, so I only stripped part of it, but I spent like literally 2 days trying to fix it, and finally I'm just like, you know what, I gotta just cut my losses, and I stripped it. I put it in 99% alcohol for a couple hours, took a toothbrush too, and started over, because I'm like, there just wasn't any saving it. It hurt my feelings, but I learned from my mistake this time.
And surely you won't do it again.
Well, the thing I was trying to do, I'm not going to do this time. I don't want to say what I was trying to do because I don't want to potentially give away what model it is, because obviously it's supposed to be a surprise. But yeah, I'm just not going to do that again because I don't seem to have the skill to do it. And then my next project, like I think I said last episode, I was going to try Mortarion next. But I don't know how I want to paint its wings, and it's kind of just intimidating me. So I might just end up going with painting this Abraxia that's been sitting on my hobby stand for a while, and then seeing if I can get some inspiration there.
The wings are certainly a large part of Mortarion.
Yeah, it's kind of like the most important part, right? Because like his army is just like the whitey green rusty goopy look normally, but like the wings are like what people see from across the store. So
Do you have an airbrush, Mason?
I do have an airbrush.
Because I will have to send you a picture of the bottom of my Tervigons. Because, like, Tervigons are, like, they're constantly spawning. You know, like, Termagants, their bellies are, like, really bloated and gross and nasty. So I wanted them to look like that. So I did this, like, color scheme. I basically just mixed a bunch of grays and greens and, like, a little bit of, like, metallic color to make it look, like, kind of, like, weird and shiny. And it made it look greasy when I covered it up a little bit. So I'll have to send you a picture of that because it's really easy to do with an airbrush. And it'd probably match the whole Nurgle scheme really well.
I'm definitely interested in seeing it. Yeah, send it my way. Worst case scenario is I could just say, no, not for me. I'm always looking for inspo.
Yeah, it's zero loss.
Well, you spend time doing it, I guess.
Well, yeah, but I'm not changing it. It's staying that way now.
True.
I am not committed to that much. I don't know if I have a picture of it separate, but if not, I will go take one.
All right. I live on the internet 24/7, so you can send me when you get a chance. But is there anything you have been painting?
Just our little project mini. So I've been working on it. Bugs don't have a lot of details because the models are kind of older, so I'm not used to having to do so many little things on it, so I'm taking my time with it to make sure it looks nice.
That's good. I also snagged a light box on a Black Friday deal to try to bump up my numbers a little bit.
There you go.
Yes.
We got to get every point we can.
I also have a light box, so, you know, they're not bad for just taking photos.
Yeah, but now I've lost my edge. I shouldn't have said anything. I should have been the only one with a light box. Darn it.
It's still me painting, so trust me, it'll be fine. Because my painting's going to be atrocious. My base will look really fucking good, but the painting's going to be terrible. So if I can score for base points, I'm there.
Hey, faces and bases are what make mini pop. So if you have a good base, like it's like half the battle.
What's the other half?
Faces and bases.
No, I thought it was knowing.
Oh no, you don't want to know anything. There's nothing good to know.
These days, that's truer than usual. So let's talk reveals. I don't think anybody really cares about the Aeldari reveals, so we can probably skip all those, right?
Boo, boo.
I know that you're showing the fire dragon, so this is not a pun when I say this. Aeldari reveals for me were very hot or cold.
I think the box is sweet.
The fire dragons, I think, look normal. Although, what are these little statue things? Like, all the aspect warriors have that little, like, fetish totem thing, and I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I get it. They don't currently use them in the game, so they are getting a codex. Maybe we'll get changes in the codex or something.
Maybe it'll interact with fate dice in some way, and it's like once per game you can do...
Well, fate dice are moving to a detachment. They are not the army rule anymore, according to what GW said on their stream.
Isn't that like undoing 3 editions of consistent Eldar rules?
This is a report from somebody who watched the video. I did not actually hear it from myself.
Weird, but okay. Asterman looks boring. I think Asterman looks like a boring mini.
I mean, he looks pretty similar to how he does right now, I guess. He was the one that least needed to be updated, in my opinion. Them and the dire renders, like the dire renders are already kind of fine. But everything else I'm excited for.
Yeah, if they're not fine cast, like... they probably would be fine.
Baharoth and the Hawks are both sweet. They both have GW's favorite motif of the year, which is putting one foot on a rock and calling it the base. We've seen that about every month the entire year, and we're going to keep seeing that, I guess.
It's better than the Inceptor little plastic rod, I will say that. But it is, like, especially how spindly elves are, like, that's a connection point that I don't want to have to deal with.
I just hope that connection point is attached to the foot, and you don't have to attach the foot to the thing.
Oh yeah, if you have to glue it there, you're done for.
Because, I mean, the jump cannon, the sister's model, I mean, attaching her to that little broken piece of like window was fairly annoying.
And then the spiders are fantastic.
Oh yeah, spiders are super cool.
Both the Phoenix Lord and the new spider models in general, they just look so much more dynamic and threatening than what they do right now, where they just kind of like stand there.
Yeah, like there's at least a couple different poses, as opposed to like them all just holding their gun like Stormtrooper style when they're walking. And then the Phoenix Lord looks phenomenal.
I cannot imagine the amount of Spider-Man conversions we're going to see for that, because it looks exactly like Spider-Man in the new like Marvel universe's little futuristic spider suit with the little claws and stuff.
Oh yeah, and there definitely going to be a couple blue and red paint jobs on this girl, right? It's a her. Whatever, who cares? It's an elf. It doesn't count.
And then, as long as we're on the Eldar stuff, we can go at the bottom. They did talk a little bit about the codex. There's going to be 8 detachments, I believe. There's going to be Index, a Bike detachment, a Warlock detachment, a Yunari detachment, a Harlequin detachment, Aspect Warriors.
Harlequins aren't real. Stop trying to make them real.
Listen, it's either going to be broken or they're going to somehow make them worse than they are now.
I mean, the only way to make them worse is to get rid of the unit.
Oh, Harlequins are Ghosts of the Webway. Okay, I'm like reading this. I'm like, which one of these Ghosts of the Webway? Okay.
So the article has 7, like, they talk about 7 in the article, and then there's going to be an 8th one when they do the Christmas detachments for everybody.
Probably Wraith Guard focus, I guess. That's the only real thing
missing here, yeah.
There's a paint job somebody posted on Reddit forever ago of the Harlequin troop, and it was fucking outstanding. Anybody searching for it, it's in the Warhammer 40k subreddit. It was like a year old by a guy named Gummins I don't know. Look for 10th edition Harlequins in the 40k subreddit and you'll find it eventually. But it's a troop that each one Harlequin has like 2 or 3 models behind it, so it looks like it's moving and shifting. It's really cool.
Very much like an after image from an anime situation.
So onward to the better of the previews.
Yeah, enough elves. Let's talk about the grit of man.
Death Corps of Krieg getting plastic models plus the special edition codex and the army box, which actually looks kind of cool. They have horses with claw hooves and gas masks built into the horse. I mean, come on. Who doesn't want a horse that has claws for hooves and a gas mask and armor? I mean, really.
And if you wanted to do a heretic conversion, those are already pretty demonic looking horses in my opinion.
Yeah, you don't have to do much.
Put a spike on them.
Put a spike on the mane.
Change colors around a little bit, go more black and red rather than tan and cream, but yeah. So we're looking at Lord Marshal Varnon Dreyer. It's he's a just much better Lord Solar, I think, model-wise.
Oh, model-wise. I was like, is that what they said? I was like reading the article real quick. I was like...
He doesn't have rules currently, does he? I have no idea. He might be in Legends. Guard have a bajillion models. I can't keep track of them all.
Yeah, it's rough.
But I mean, you can see the skeleton of the horse. That's all mechanical, like right there in that one top picture there.
Yeah, like it was hit with like a bolter shell or something, and they had to just replace it with cybernetics.
And the horse doesn't care.
Nah, he's pumped full of stims. He doesn't care.
But it is a very cool model. But to be honest, all the Krieg models they released or previewed are all very cool models in my opinion. They have their own cav units.
Yes, the cavalry units not being resin anymore is also good because resin lances are terrible. I also think that the current Death Corp cavalry are on 40mm bases, which is super weird.
Yeah, these definitely look like oval bases, which are better. Although, so why is there a little base right here? That's a base, right? I'm not blind.
That is certainly an empty base.
It's a surprise.
Why did they include it in the picture? It's not even based.
Yeah, so we're looking at the previews, we're scrolling through, and there's just a empty like 40mm base there. Maybe it's to compare because you said the old ones were on 40mm, right?
Yeah, but I still don't get it, man. What are they doing?
It's like hidden behind the little banner too.
I'm just reaching, so I don't know. It's interesting.
Someone at GW was just like, we gotta get this preview up. Just crop us a picture of this model. Like, all right, well, there's this base in there. Like, not my problem. Whatever. Here you go. Not my job.
Overall, I like this cav better than the current Rough Riders. I'd be more apt to want to run these guys because they look cooler, I think. Then you have the combat engineers with their little remote mine.
The Roomba.
Yes, the Roomba of Death.
For the record, I just looked it up. They are, in fact, on 40mm bases.
We'll see. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe they're just trying to show you that it's a 40mm base. It's weird. It's a choice, but you know, whatever. But the combat engineers are next. Flamers, combat shotguns, and a remote mine. And they all get, I think they said they get the grenade stuff standard. They said that about one of the group, I'm not sure which. But otherwise, very thematic miniatures, very active looking miniatures. You know, they have good poses for movement, and they're not standing on rocks.
I do like the guy who's planting his feet about to shoot his flamer. Like, gotta get an accurate shot as I melt my opponent's face.
Fourth from the right up there.
Yeah.
I like that guy with the little grenade launcher. He's got some good running form there.
Oh yeah, high knees for sure, right?
Like he's squared up, 90-degree angle. Like he's efficient.
Yeah, I think that these guys are really cool models. I think they'd be kind of painful to paint, but I think that if you spend your time on them, you can make them look really good on the tabletop.
But who wants to do that? I mean, who's going to spend time? Just paint them blue.
Blue contrast paint and then some black.
There you go, guys. Just gotta get your 10 painted points, you monsters.
Then you have this thing that's on a huge base.
The World War II artillery cannons.
This is what, 120 mil, they said?
It's something ridiculous.
It's a large base.
120 mil?
It looks like the 100 that's kind of standard on a lot of the big models, but I would believe it if it was bigger. It's hard to tell.
So the short stubby one I could buy as a demolisher cannon, but the big one just looks like an autocannon, and have an autocannon on a 120 mil base makes me upset. Like, that's very big. You know what I mean? Like
The
that's
siege
excessive.
cannon, perhaps?
Maybe, or maybe it's like the battle cannon that like Titans have, or like a special one, the rapid fire battle cannon.
So heavy mortar, heavy quad launcher, multiple rocket launcher, and a siege cannon. So this would be heavy mortar. I assume this will be the siege cannon.
That's the quad launcher right there. And then there's the missile.
Yeah, this is nipple rockets. Yeah, because they are in fact nipple rockets.
They also kind of look like cans of spray paint. Like, we're gonna graffiti up this battlefield.
With blood.
Oh yeah.
And that's the quad.
Quad doesn't get a second picture, just the one.
Yeah, it doesn't. You get one angle here, and you'll like it.
Yeah, but there's no extra base, so it kind of loses me.
Yeah, I would like to have a 40 mil base for scale, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, put a banana on a 40 mil base for scale, so that way I know what's going on.
And then you have the codex that's going to be included in the army box, which may or may not be released for 6 months after the fact. We'll see.
Is that potentially new art?
I'm not sure if that's new art or not.
GW stepping up the game.
No art is ever new. It's all just recycled ideas.
What if we find out this is AI art? Oh my god. We cracked GW's code wide open.
Does not look like new art.
But it's not just the same codex art that was used in the 9th edition codex. So
No, correct. They're not reusing that art. They're just reusing other art.
well, that's something, I guess.
And then you have the toilet paper servitors,
Dude, you got a white.
the heavy support squad, plasma pistol, some sort of power fist, and a servitor carrying a scroll writing sit down while another servitor behind it floats with its bolt up so the parchment does not touch the ground.
The Lord Commissar kind of rips, I'm not going to lie.
I mean, all these models are solid.
Yeah, but I just really like the drip of the Lord Commissar.
I do like the alchemist guy with the
blood.
blood bottles, whatever they
Yeah,
are.
instead of carrying he's probably the medic, so instead of carrying a first aid kit, he's just carrying blood to give people transfusions.
And then there's a Krieg flag, which was actually one of the, this little corner was one of the rumors that people were warning about forever that they thought was armor because it only showed like this little corner of the flag and gray with the bullet holes. But I just wonder how much of this is going to be part of the base. I mean, his foot's touching this. I assume this is actually part of the base with the barbed wire and the little thing.
Those bullet holes look a little weird, right?
They're very circular.
They're very circular, and like there's no like chips or like triangles out of the side.
Well, when your flag is a sheet of plastic.
Right. I think it's because it's not like a piece of fabric. It's a thick piece of plastic, especially where it's textured, like on the actual, like the wing of the skull motif. It really looks weird, but I don't know. I'm probably just being nitpicky.
Some nice non-metallic metal, though.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's their job to paint. They better do a good job.
And then heavy support squads. I do like the, just flamer on wheels.
The death trike.
Yeah, basically. It's that. I think that will be fun to just mow down shaft with.
Looking at that little paragraph, it looks like they're going to have shoot on death right above it.
That makes sense with Deathcore of Krieg.
Yeah, because they're trying to die.
Maybe they'll take it off the tank commander, and then we can all live in peace.
We can all just feel something again. I do think that, especially something that's that spammable, like infantry units that shoot on death, maybe should be locked behind a detachment, but I don't know, whatever. It's a super minor gripe. As long as their points cost efficiently, it doesn't matter.
It's guard. They'll be cheap. I mean, what's the cost for heavy weapons teams right now? Let's look. 50 points.
So like 17 points a model, roughly?
Yeah, because there are 3 models per. So, and let's see, they have 3 heavy weapon teams, heavy bolter, small arm las weapons, autocannons, heavy bolters, las cannons, missile launchers, and mortars. All the mortars were the indirect that everybody ran closer to the start of the edition, though.
I think they still are, because I think people use them to proc fields of fire.
Blast heavy, indirect fire, d6 shots, hitting on 5s, 5 strength, and 1 damage, 48 inches. Yeah, it's not terrible.
Doesn't a command squad get a mortar, or am I tripping?
Oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking about. I think they just get a special weapon.
Yeah, you get a mortar somehow, and then you use it to proc fields of fire.
Oh, you probably just take a infantry platoon or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Platoon command squad.
They can take a special, yeah. So you attach to that unit, and that unit gets a single mortar. This is how we figure out how to play the game, guys. This is how it happens.
Well, it's not my fault that Guard have 5 different command squads.
It is a little excessive. I'm not going to lie.
I mean, it's not lieutenant numbers, I'm just saying.
I don't think there's unique rules for each type of lieutenant, though. I think it's just, there's a primaris lieutenant. There's just a lot of models for him.
I feel like if you throw a rock, you'll hit a lieutenant somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Overall, though, I was pleased with the Krieg reveals. Very nice looking plastic models.
I think they look really good overall. Like, even the small criticisms I had were they should have been overshadowed by how good everything looks. They're very handsome boys. Boys in blue. I do feel as though, especially with some of the 30K kits that are releasing, GW's kind of going less from like a World War II sci-fi aesthetic to a World War I sci-fi aesthetic a little bit more. Maybe that's just me. Except for this bird thing. What the hell is this thing called?
This is the Arvis Lighter.
The Arvis Lighter. Yeah, this is very strictly sci-fi, I think.
But I do have a question. What's holding this gun up?
He is.
Yeah, his arms. He's very strong.
Well, the plane's just going really fast. So he's holding it back. He's not holding it up at all.
But he's not strapped to anything either. So how is he holding that gun up?
He's very strong.
Magnetic boots.
It feels like there's a connection missing there somewhere.
Maybe he's flying forward, so he's just getting pushed back into the plane by the momentum.
Honestly, look at this plane in general. Like, what's letting this whole thing fly, period? Like, that's not aerodynamic in any way.
Work ingenuity?
The orcs believe it can fly, therefore it can fly.
Pretty much. It's got 2 big jet engines, 2 big turbines, and a half a wing and a wing.
That guy definitely looks like he's sitting on a toilet, by the way.
I mean, that's how you fly your ship, right? I mean, the ship, you have to be kind of using the bathroom to be able to fly it, because you're just always afraid that it's going to fall out of the sky.
The Emperor protects, but I still shit myself.
Then you have the Neutron Laser Projector, the Valdor Tank Hunter.
Yeah, like, this is the kind of, another one of the things I was talking about, how they're going with, like, this World War I tank aesthetic, I think.
I mean, it's low-key. It's not low-key, but low-key, the Lehman Russ kit for 30K is the better buy if you're getting a Lehman Russ for 40K, because it's a newer kit. And it's a better kit.
Yeah, you get more bits and stuff.
And then you have an Infernus tank with a cart behind it to power it. Just a huge flamer.
That model looks like somebody took 3 different models and, like, smacked them all together.
Oh, wait till we scroll down farther. Because the thing... Oh, there it is.
Hell yeah. That's a prototype Tau suit right there, baby.
The what pattern did Darrow Dreadnought?
Boreas.
This looks like one of the like Gundams I made out of Legos when I was 8.
It's very blocky.
This is so goofy looking.
This looks like I could play it in Roblox.
Yes, absolutely. It's so funny.
So I hear you like plasma cannons.
Yeah, I don't know, man. And also, in typical GW fashion, they're charging separately for the weapons.
But if you wanted it, you can buy the weapons by themselves, and then you can just have whatever you want. Want a huge missile rack on top? You can do that.
To be fair, if you buy the weapons by themselves and you just glue them to a brick, it's about the same thing.
It is, yeah. What's the difference?
I mean, as long as it sits on the base and it's the right height, I'd accept it.
I think I could show that picture to a first grader and give him some cardboard and he could make the model for me.
Yeah, this is a swing and a miss for me, man. Like,
I think it's so goofy that it wraps back around to being good. I would play that model.
People were super happy to see it when I was watching the stream.
They're probably happy because it's going to turn into a meme like the Stilts guy for Advec.
Hell yeah, still sniper supremacy. Keep dropping his points.
Are you getting a stilt sniper with your batch?
I will get 1 stilt sniper.
You need 3, okay?
If they
Why?
drop him down to 40 points, I'll take 3.
Just because there's really no reason for it.
I mean, you can't pass up on a model that beautiful.
Okay, give me 1 sec. I need to step away. People are leaving.
Well, while Michael's out, we can talk WCW. So the World Championships just wrapped up approximately 2 hours ago, and a huge congratulations to Mr. Folger Piles for defeating John Lennon in the finals. Folger was playing Talons of the Emperor Custodes, and John was playing his Astra Militarum, and it was a great game to watch. It was a fantastic example of 2 players playing good Warhammer, but also just being great sports to each other. They were working together to help each other do the best that they could. Obviously, it had been their 9th game of the tournament for each of them, so mistakes were going to be made, and they did their best to make sure that they noticed them for each other as well as themselves. And mistakes were still made, but it was a great game to watch. They were fantastic sportsmen, and yeah. Again, a huge congrats to Folger, because I don't think anybody who was predicting anything at all going into this event would have said that Custodes were going to be the ones coming out on top.
It was a really good game, but like I said, I think just to you a few minutes ago, though, his dice were...
They were. And that was sort of the thing, is that the matchup, and honestly the deployment, because Folger couldn't reach like half the board to start, his own half to be specific, was so oppressive for a guard that he had to play to his outs, right? Which was to march 15 Wardens, just advance them straight up the board, get into the staging points he needed, connect with the tanks that he needed, and hope that he could weather just the guard shooting with the Field of Pains. And he did. He passed a lot of invulns, he passed a lot of Field of Pains, and he got to get into what he needed to. He made some great movement plays. There were a lot of, charges and pylons and consolidates that were all within fractions of an inch of like tagging units or being in places where he needed to go. So obviously player skill came into it. I said this to somebody else, but 8 out of 10 Custodes players don't make it here ever. And then the 9th Custode player makes it here and still loses. So Folger played a fantastic game. He recognized what he needed to do and where he needed to go, and he managed to get it done.
Yeah, I mean, this is board state, like bottom of round 2 that I have on screen right now. And there were way more tanks at the start of this game.
I will say huge props to John as well. John was very supportive of Folger. Obviously for John, this is his 2nd year in a row placing 2nd at the World Championships, which is an amazing feat, but it obviously had to hurt. But he was very, congratulatory and supportive of Folger. He was very happy for him. And in his post-match interview, I don't think he mentioned dice at all. He was very humble, and he wasn't trying to make excuses for anything that happened. So it was just a great showing from both players overall.
Always a bridesmaid, never a bride.
I would settle for a top 8 at WCW and just be extraordinary.
I would settle for a top 200, right?
Well, right, yeah. Okay, that's fair too. But I'm just saying, no one is going to say that John Lennon's not a phenomenal player too. It's really cool that a Gem Wargaming player took it home.
So let's look at the top 8 here. So obviously the first game was Guard and Custodes. Second bracket was a Space Marines list and Guard.
It was a Space Marines Iron Storm, to be specific, which is a very interesting one because most of the people that were taking Codex Space Marines were taking Vanguard.
Third bracket was Guard and Votan. Then you have Siegler in the fourth with Mechanicus versus Necrons. And fifth was Sisters and Guard. Are you seeing a pattern here, though?
Yeah, I see a word that keeps coming up.
Out of the top 10. Let's see. 6 out of the top 10.
There were 16 players in top bracket, and 6 of them were guard. Although Wesley St. Hines was my hero, I believe he's also known as Nemo the Fish, and he had the all of the infantry. He did not take any of the tanks, I believe. He was just an all-infantry list.
Let's see. Cading Command Squad, Death Corps Marshal, Death Corps Marshal, God's Ghost, Tempestus Command, Slay Marbo or Slay Creed, Shock Troops, Catachans, Death Corps Krieg, Scions, Kazarkin, Quillians.
It's amazing how many of the units you can fit in when you don't take anything else.
God, that's so much on the table. But yeah, no vehicles.
I believe he finished 7-2, which is insane.
The last game between Lennon and Folger was actually really interesting to watch. I think there's going to be a guard smackdown, especially when they get with their codex coming up.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's hard to say that guard's not an incredibly strong army right now. I don't think it's only Aquilons that catapulted it to such a high tier. I think it helped, and those are definitely going to get nerfed a lot, but Rogodorns are insanely powerful too, and just having that many bodies as an option is also really good.
Rogodorn is still for 240, man.
Yeah, the Russes are just efficient. Catachans and Chimeras are both like 5 points under costed in my opinion. Catachans are 55-point battle line with Scout and Flamer, and then the Chimera is cheaper than a Rhino and has better guns. Like, that's got something going for them. Honestly, I think Orders is a fantastic army rule. Obviously, you have to take points investments, right, because you have to take officers and whatnot, but it gives you so many flexible tools. Like, every turn you can decide whether you want to be faster or shoot better or have more OC, and then you can do that in the other player's turn as well. It just provides a lot of tools, and then just because the guard codex is so enormous that there's units that can do pretty much anything you want them to.
Yeah, I think it rewards player skill for knowing what your guys can do and how to make them do it correctly also, but it's well designed, I think.
Yeah, going back to John, he took 3 Hydras, by the way. I don't think anybody had looked at this unit, like, seriously, in recent memory. But he sees the game differently. He did the same thing last year when he took Centurion Devastators, and nobody had really cared about them. And he showed up to this with 3 Hydras, and then everybody, like, looked at the data sheet in their app, and they were like, 85 points for an autocannon that rerolls hits does seem pretty good.
And he had one really good Hunter-Killer Missile there at the very end. He actually took out some, I think it was the last bit of... No, it was not the Sisters, but the, what are they called in Custodes?
The Sisters of Silence?
Okay, Sisters then, yes. He took out a squad. Witch Seekers? Yeah, Witch Seekers. That's what he killed.
I think that most armies could stand to get a little stronger. I don't think guard needs like a huge nerf. I think that maybe if they can take a little bit less stuff and some of their powerful units can come down, and that would help.
Yeah, I don't think they're broken or overpowered at all. I just think they're really efficient, and there's so many units in the codex that you can find the most efficient ones.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that.
I'm going to be very interested in a couple days once people have broken the stats down this event to see like how each faction performed and things like that.
You don't think it'll be done tomorrow for Meta Monday?
Maybe if they burn the midnight oil, but I'm looking forward to like maybe a Goonhammer article review when they go over everything with a fine-tooth comb.
Yeah, and I'm sure Art of War will put out a video talking about it too.
Maybe give them a little bit of time to recover.
Oh, I don't think they'll do it tomorrow. Maybe this week, maybe next week. But yeah, I definitely would not expect one tomorrow because where were Worlds held this year?
Atlanta.
Is it always Atlanta?
I don't know.
Because there was Atlanta last year too, wasn't it?
I think so.
They do need a big venue, I guess.
It's within driving distance.
And I mean, you can get a flight to Atlanta from anywhere in the world. It's Atlanta. That's their whole thing.
Never flying to Atlanta, though. Airport sucks.
But do you want to keep talking about the meta right now, or do you want to go back to the reviews until we finish? I know we took a little segue.
Nah, it's fine. There's only a couple more reveals really to talk about. Some Age of Sigmar stuff.
I mean, these Age of Sigmar Greenskin reveals, I think, are really good. So
the Slitta here, I'm not really a big fan of. I think
this is not a Warhammer model at all. This is the Lord of the Rings model. They tried to trick us. 100% is the Lord of the Rings. I've killed that guy in Shadow of Mordor a dozen times. He calls me Tark every time, and I cut his head off.
But the terrain they showed, the faction terrain they're releasing, the Scarecrow Totem and the Boss Rock Tower, those look really good.
Yeah, Are they the first faction with 2 terrain pieces?
I believe so, because they're splitting they're kind of splitting that faction into 2 separate things, although it'll be in the same codex or battle tome, I guess.
I mean, I guess it looks the same, so like I don't really see any reason why you can't just put it on the table and say it's this one whenever you want to field it. You don't have to buy actually 2.
But they get a fresh crop of manifestations too, like a big foot if you're in defeat.
Dude, tiny connection points on rocks for jumping infantry and feet. Because like they did that that Crone Seer girl with the feet too. That's what 2024 will be remembered for.
Rocks and feet. Good
Rocks
call.
and feet.
They're releasing new spearheads, which are good because this is mostly all the new models now, other than the center guy, which is still an older model, but it's a decent model.
This looks familiar. Didn't they just release a box like this?
I don't know. It's the second spearhead, I guess they say. I don't know what the original spearhead is. Let's see if I can find it. I really hate their new site so much.
But it's so fantastic.
They paid so much money for it.
I can't wait for them to finally fix their cookie issue.
Never. No, the Wreck-A Mob. I mean, this one, well, that's the Battle Force, not the Spearhead, but this Battle Force, wow, $240.
Yeah, that's what the cost now, man.
No. Anyway.
Yeah, that's the same box. That's the same box, except for instead of a big pig, it's got the chieftain guy. I think it's got maybe a one less unit of guys, too.
Let's see, 20 Ardboys. I mean, it's 27 models total.
20 Ardboys, big pig, 6 Rekkas. So I think the other one has only 3 Rekkas and obviously doesn't have a big pig, too.
10 Ardboys, big mob. Yeah, 10 Ardboys, the big dude. Yeah, I mean, it's...
It's like half that box. I mean, that's fine. Like, it's a spearhead, so, like, that it's not, like, unheard of for it to be half of a starter box. I mean, literally, the Space Marine and the Tyranids combat patrols are half of the Indominus box, right? I was just, like, looking at it, I'm like, this looks familiar, and I that's why. Because they literally just came out with it for the Christmas box.
Let's see. Do we want to talk about Old World or just skip that?
No, we can skip the old world. It's literally the old models.
I just know nothing about Old World besides the fact that it has dragons and they're broken. I spent 30 minutes talking with Blue Ford about Old World because he was playing it and he was complaining about dragons. And that's all I know about it.
Does anybody have any speculation on what your new detachment's going to be?
I'm thinking a pistol detachment for World Eaters. I think that's what they need. I think that's what they're missing.
I think a detachment, or if you roll 3 6s, Angron dies. But you get to take him for free.
I'll take it.
I would also take that, actually. Free 435 points. I can shoe in a extra Lord of Skulls now.
I could just see World Eaters players just taking like max units of Jackals, all sitting on the same objective in the back just for rerolls.
Like, I have to make sure I don't roll these 6s.
Yeah, it takes 60 Jackals. Come on.
This Griffin almost got me. I looked at it for a little bit. I was like, that's a pretty cool model. And then, like, I looked closer. I'm like, no, it isn't.
The head is a little hard to tell what's going on.
Yeah.
I also just... Something about square bases is very unsettling.
So, I mean... No knock for anybody who likes Old World. More power to you. Play the game you like. I'm not gonna dog you for enjoying what you enjoy. It's just not anything I'm interested in, mostly due to the age of these models. They're all resin, and they're old. And I don't want old resin models at this point. If I want that, I'll print a model that's resin.
I think that the Old World rules seem very fun and great, and it's for somebody who is not me. I could never justify spending new model prices on these models when they're not new models, but some people yearn for the glory days when square bases and pewter models were the move.
I mean, there's a certain player that's going to like what they like. And again, there's, enjoy what you enjoy. There's no problem with that. Like what you like.
Yeah, for the discerning player.
Yeah, I mean, there's a large group, obviously, because, I mean, they're selling the stuff. There's a lot of people that like Old World and don't like Age of Sigmar because Age of Sigmar took away Old World.
Yeah, it's not, like I said, it's not for me, but I think that, yeah, I could definitely see the merits to it.
I mean, I kind of like the steam tank looking thing. I don't want to buy one. I don't want to build it. I don't want to paint it. I kind of like it, though. Especially if you can put Null on it because, it's got to find that oil.
Well, good luck. I will never kill your vibe if you like the Old World.
And people are very excited about the cart coming back, apparently.
But how many dragons can it kill?
6. Only 6.
Oh, that seems very good.
I mean, I could see proxying some of these for other things. But yeah, square bases also just don't do it for me.
I don't personally hate the square bases because in a rank and file game like Old World, it would make sense. Like, I think that like seeing like guardsmen on like rank and file bases would be really aesthetically pleasing. But only for armies that are really organized like that.
I forgot about the ogre.
The pretty boy.
His mother loves him.
I like that his face looks like it's made out of Play-Doh.
Yeah, it's very much a Mother Goose giant type guy, but it's part of the aesthetic that they're going for.
It
I
is.
get it.
And I mean, his gun is a literal cannon.
Yeah, it's a cannon tied to a tree.
Yeah. So again, more power to anybody who likes it. You know, it's not my jam. Square bases are infinitely easier to stack, at least, so that'd be nice. But yeah, I mean, enjoy your reveals, enjoy your stuff. It's just not my game.
But the Gloomspite Gitz reveals, that's the last thing we really need to talk about. We don't need to talk about books. There's no point. I don't know how to read. I play Warhammer. That one.
Yeah, the Git Mob.
Yeah, so very much surprising for me when I found out that this was Gloomspite Gitz, because it's a very different aesthetic than what it was going for, right? Whereas before it was like squigs and spiders and trolls. Now it's like goblins riding wolves.
Yeah, but this first model, dude, it's straight fire.
These models are awesome. They look great. It just is not the faction identity that I was used to before, but I'm digging this direction. I think these models are awesome. I think that Space Wolf players are getting really excited for when their codex comes out, because if this is what the wolves look like for these sculpts, I think that they're looking real forward to their own wolf sculpts.
Just saw the Gets off and use the wolves. Man, the wolves are so good.
And actually, if that guy's on a 60 mil base and you can put a space marine on his back, like that's a wolf lord.
Yeah, but I mean, they're just really good. I mean, again, Age of Sigmar has repeatedly been blowing the models out of the park compared to like 40k for the most part. I'll admit the Aeldari models look really nice, but these Gits are just good.
I do think that 40k has started to catch up to Age of Sigmar a little bit, some of their models, but I mean, Age of Sigmar still has the market cornered, right? Like, look at these guys.
This thing is the best thing ever, though. This is the Doom Diver Catapult.
Oh, that guy's getting flung at the top. I thought he was on like a kite.
Nope, he's getting launched.
He's having a good time or for a while, and then he'll have a bad time.
Yeah, it's just that. Yeah, but I'm really curious to see how. So what are the current detachments? Not detachments, but traits. Gits have. Let's see.
They focus on like the light of the bad moon.
So I just wonder what it's going to be for this new box. Are they going to change anything in the battle tone? Because I know the Skaven didn't really change traits. I'm just curious if they're going to change traits up and do that in other battle tomes. And it looks like it's different poses, so you can have the guy ready to shoot, or you can have the guy being shot.
I mean, you got to have the guy being shot, right? Like,
yeah, it just depends on how flimsy that connection is. That would be my only worry, because that's like the point that's going to break.
It'll be really immersive when he falls off the middle of the battle, though.
This is true. Or you just change it and put a rubber band and actually fling it. And have Gits on chariots. It's definitely a new look for that army.
Yeah, the helmets are really giving me like Mongolian goblin vibes.
Yeah, totally. And you have this little idiot.
yeah, he's doing his best.
So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what releases when the armor box comes out, and it's $240.
Well, $240 is just like where things are going to be, and hopefully they stay there. That's the best we can do.
Just remember, if you do need to buy this, order it when Warhammer Minis puts up their pre-orders Friday at midnight when this comes out, and use our affiliate link to save a little bit of money and give us a little bit back free without hurting your budget and just helping the podcast out. So remember, use our affiliate link at Warhammer Minis. That's in the show notes and everywhere else I've posted this.
DM Michael directly and he will send you the link.
I will. Send me a message. I will send you the link. Tell me what you want to buy. I will find it. I will send you the link to buy it with the affiliate code in place.
Dude, that's customer service right there.
I'm saying, like, he can just do all my orders for me.
No. You can pre-order your own stuff at midnight. Your host, I expect you to know. Do your own thing.
Michael, I'm going to need you to place an order for the Eldar box for me when it's up for pre-order.
Sure, send me $240.
Plus tax.
Finder's fees, so it's really about $270.
I thought I was getting a discount with this Warfire mini code.
Oh, you are. I'm just charging you. The box will only be like $212. I'm just going to take like the rest of the money for myself.
Fair enough.
So as far as reveals goes, that's pretty much it. They revealed, honestly, more than I expected. I expected a very light reveal of maybe a model here, a model there, but really not much of anything. I was surprised with Krieg. I was surprised with the amount of Aeldari released and everything, honestly. Even the Gitz. That was surprising.
Yeah, I think that we got a good mix, and it's none of the like really niche games. So they didn't there are no Necromunda models or like Underworlds models, like games that very few people play, and like the majority of people who buy the minis probably are using for conversions. Like I thought these were good reveals.
Well, they had to give us something because they give us nothing after Blood Angels, because these won't be out till next year.
Oh yeah, that is true.
That's okay. We have our 24 detachments in December. We can use those in the meantime.
Oh, were they December? I thought they were January.
Nope. Every day, December 1st until Christmas, we're getting a new detachment.
Okay, that's interesting.
It'll be a legal play detachment. Most of them will be themed, apparently. So we'll see what they release and how many of them turn out to be stupidly good and get used.
So they're going to reveal the detachment every day, and then I'm assuming once they're all done, they're going to do the update with like the points and stuff as well.
Correct, yeah. They said after they're all released, they'll be in the app. But until then, it'll just be, you can download the index. And they did say be compatible with previous codexes and future codexes.
So even armies that already have codexes are going to get new.
Yes. Every army is getting one. Specifically, they also mentioned that demons are getting 4, 1 for each god, and Deathwatch is getting 1.
Yeah, every detachment's been crafted with a reason in mind. So there's going to be some very themey detachments out there. Some some memey detachments out there.
So basically, the January data slate will not mean anything then, because there's no way that any sort of win rates will be accounted for in a month's time. So
well, they're doing a balance update in December. They said that when they release the October update, there's going to be an update in December. So they're going to release all the detachments, and they're going to do some points based on the last 2 months of data. I'm assuming it's not going to be a whole lot. They'll also probably do an FAQ, like where they put in a lot of their WCW rulings. But the main meat of it's going to be the detachments, and then we'll hang around for a few months and see how it all shakes out, I guess.
Yeah, Q1 of next year will be a little bit like the Wild West, but hey, I mean, that's kind of...
I hope that LVO uses all the new detachments. I hope it's before the rules cut off and we have an absolutely wild event.
Who knows what's going to happen going into it. Yeah, let's light this candle. Let's go.
God, I was about to say something. What was it?
You're probably going to talk about how much orcs suck.
Well, that's a given. But no, it's actually going to be with the update coming in December at some point. We'll see some Miracle Dice changes and possibly some GSC Blub changes.
As well as Space Marine changes.
I mean, that's a given. They're Space Marines.
Yeah, $5 says that Space Marines get their detachment December 1st. Like, they're just the first ones.
We'll find out that Monday. But also, Age of Sigmar is getting the same treatment. So they're getting new traits. Or at least that's the way I read this. We'll see.
Also, kicking it back to WCW for a second. Alex, did you see that there was a 6-3 player with a Harridan?
Dude, that happens every edition. Every edition, some madman shows up to a big tournament. He's like, yeah, I have a big dragon. What of it? And then he just has like a crazy good record. Every edition it happens. The Harridan gets slept on every single edition. It is miles better than a Bile Titan, but I don't have one, so I don't preach about him as often. But ever since I started playing, I'll just be scrolling through. I'll be like, oh, that's weird. That Tyranids List did really good. Open it up. Harridan and Gargoyles every time.
20-inch move, hover, transport 20 gargoyles, 30 wounds.
Yep. In Vanguard Onslaught, you got a Broodlord, Death Leaper, Nora Tyrant, Winged Tyranid Prime, Gargoyles, Bivores, Gene Stiller, a Harridan, Lictor, Neurolictor, Raveners, Tyranid Warriors.
So no shooting? Unless the Harridan shoots?
The Harridan has 2d6 plus 12 strength 10 AP 3 damage 3 shots.
Blast. Which is goofy.
And he can add 1 to the wound roll for taking a D3 mortals, which on a 30 wound model is like, who cares?
Don't you have a stratagem to regenerate too?
Only in Assimilation Swarm.
Is that no? I assume that's what he played if you're taking this though, right?
I would doubt it. I would imagine Invasion or...
Vanguard Onslaught.
Yeah, that makes sense because he has so many of the lictors.
No invulnerable save though.
Yeah, but it's got 30 wounds.
Yeah, but Angron just kills it. That's my
I was gonna say, is this the benchmark? If Angron can kill it, it's bad.
if Angron can one round it, it's not worth its points. Get out of here.
Alright, so the Demonifuge is worth its points.
Yeah, absolutely. You should run 3 if you'd be cheating, but you should do it anyway.
I do appreciate a 2d6 Deadly Demise.
Yeah, that's definitely hilarious.
They need a way to make Deadly Demise have a larger radius. None of these pansy 6-inch Deadly Demises on a model that's 14 inches long.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised by the Vanguard Onslaught, because he has, like, nothing that he can use that. No stratagem support at all.
Yeah, it's just chilling.
Maybe it's just a, hey, shoot me, I'm big, and then the lictors are just too busy scoring points and doing stuff.
Yeah, it could be. Because if he put it in Invasion Fleet, which was what I would assume he would have did, he could give it a 5-up Feel No Pain for 1 CP.
I mean, is he just using it for the Advance and Charge?
I mean... He could be. He doesn't have that much stuff that he's advancing. Like, if you go back to his list, he has all these lictors and, like, Raveners and stuff that he's, like, like rapid ingressing all the time.
In 30, or not 30 gene stealers, but 20 gene stealers, 6 warriors, 6 raveners. Yeah, I don't know. But let's see. How did he do?
I'm just going to keep doing various pronunciations, and most of them will be wrong, but one of them might be right.
Yeah, 30th. Or he was in the, I don't know where he plays, but he won his game. Oh, he won it handedly, too. 94 to 27.
Man, I bet you if you get turn 1 with a Harridan, you just pop up, like you just fly him right in the middle of the board, and then you just delete.
I was going to say, it was on linchpin, so he might have just, like, advanced his whole army and flew the Harridan at him and just ran him over.
What stands in the backfield that can take, probably minimum 8 shots at strength 10, AP 3, damage 3?
He gets to pick 2 targets that he can do that to, and he can add 1 to the wound roll.
Yeah, so you can target something real with the other one.
A lone op?
Why? You move 20 inches. You could probably see a lone up.
Well, this thing is, so the Necron player he played against ran Hypercrypt, and yeah, he brought planes. I'm shocked.
Wow, what a great mechanic. You take aircraft, and then instead of having to use aircraft rules, you just teleport them around, and they still ignore line of sight. What a fantastic play pattern.
But yeah, I could see how he could just destroy this list, which he did.
We found the answer to Necron flyers. A bigger flyer.
Yeah, I mean, Doom sights are made out of paper, so when he's wounding them on 2s?
Yep, but he takes 2 mortals if he does it.
Oh no, out of 30 wounds.
I only have 28 left. What will I do? That's the other thing that's just crazy to me. That he's in Vanguard. It's got to be for like the rapid ingress, because the Vanguard invaders have a stratagem they can use to pull in units 1 battle round faster than you would normally be able to.
Could he use aircraft mode and then pull it in on turn 1?
Yeah, he has like 3 units of Ravagers, right? He might just bring one of those in.
Yeah, it's probably the Raveners and the Lictors, because then you can, because Lictors don't have deep strike, but you can put them in strat reserve and then use that to like bring them in on like your opponent's board edge on turn 2.
That'll really piss off the kids.
Notice all the other list are invasion fleet. Well, there's one more Vanguard onslaught, I guess.
Invasion fleet's just so good.
Unconditional 5-up Feel No Pain is just a broken strat. And then also being able to get lethals or sustained in every single game is also good.
Well, it's not completely. In order to get the 5-up, you have to target, it has to be in synapse range. So you can't put in like way far in the backfield and get it.
Don't care.
Yeah, a very minor contingency for sure.
If you have a model on the board and there's another model on the board, it's a 5-up Feel No Pain.
You know what's really cool is that you don't get the 3d6 when you're trying to fall back from Exalted 8-bound.
Yeah, I found that out.
Yeah, Alex found that out last night.
I still made it, but you want to know why that like extra sucks? My like tyrants, because of the 3d6, have a leadership of like 7. So all of my leaderships are very high because of it.
Yeah, gargoyles are like 9s, right? Like,
yeah.
I ran one Exalted 8-bound into a unit of 10 gargoyles, killed like 5 of them, and then the other ones just couldn't run away.
It's okay. And Norn Assimilator can make you take a d6 mortals if you try to run from him.
Which you will, because after you're in combat with him, he's not going to kill you.
Hey, now.
I mean, he's got to get into combat first.
He gets +1 strength now, guys.
Yeah, that's what he needed.
Now he's what, strength 18 or something?
And it's strength 13.
He's only strength 12?
So bad.
Yes.
He's so bad.
It's
the
not.
Emissaries is even worse. The Emissary is the slightly tankier one. Well, I mean, he's way tankier because he actually has an invul, but he only is strength 9.
He's strength 9 on the big attacks and strength 12 on the extra attacks.
Who writes this game?
I don't know. Somebody who thought it was still 9th edition.
Yeah, I took one of these yesterday. I'm like, man, maybe this thing isn't as bad as I think it is.
No,
it's pretty bad.
It's terrible. It's more expensive than the Emissary
Angron
as well.
ripped it in 1 round, and Angron was on 3 wounds, and I charged him with this thing, and I couldn't kill him.
Yeah.
So if Angron killed it in 1 round, it's not worth its points.
He killed it on 1 round with a 4-up invul and a 5-up Feel No Pain because it was the objective I had marked. And he still just handily killed it. It wasn't even close.
Yeah, it was a good time. The best part was when I got Angron back, though. I was so happy.
When Angron comes back, it does hit like the hardest. Like there's very few things in the game that's like better than that moment.
That is the only way I won that game, was getting Angron back when I did, because I rolled 2 6s and I had 1 unit of Jackals with an icon on a point, and I was able to reroll one of those and get a 3rd 6.
I've only ever lost 1 game where I got Angron back, and it was solely because I got him back at the bottom of turn 5. It's like, what am I supposed to do with this now?
Angron, I love Angron so much. He's my pal, but we digress. So yeah, I'm curious to see how stats play out with this championship here.
We can talk about it when we come back in 2 weeks, and we can talk about our painting competition as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we have that thing that, we may do in 2 weeks. We'll see. No promises.
The December surprise.
Necrons were the most played army, Guard being the second most played army.
That was fascinating.
Huh. Necrons were the most played army.
It's Necrons, Guards, and then there's like a huge gap, and then it's everybody else.
Yeah, Blood Angels are 10, almost 10 less than Guard.
Got 2 Imperial Agents players keeping the dream alive.
They both brought fleet.
So Calidus, Eversor, Draxus, Navigator, Watchmaster, Deathwatch Kill Team, Breachers, Sisters of Battle Immolator, Grey Knights, Terminator Squad, the Agent, Sisters of Battle, Voidsman, and hey, it's a Canis Rex. You never see those.
Wahoo. I might have cheated a little bit, but I was looking at Robert's list. He didn't bring any assassins, which is a fascinating decision.
Brought a ton of Inquisitors. 3 Inquisitors, then Draxus, Navigator, Breachers.
Why wouldn't he take the Vindicare?
It's only 140 points or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's 60 points cheaper in an Imperial Agents army.
No Canis on the second one.
No Canis.
I am shocked that neither of them had 30 subductors. Robert had 20, but Isaac had 0.
It was on 92nd place and lost his game.
That does not bode well.
Hey, he's got a codex. He likes to run. Some more power to those folks that like Imperial Agents. Okay. Then talking about detachments, we're going to get the most important question, I think, is what are they going to give Marines?
I have absolutely no idea because I feel like they've already done literally everything they can do for Marines. They've already done one for each of the fake compliant like the Iron Storm and the Anvil Siege Force and whatnot.
Yeah, ATV bikes. Flying detachment?
I guess I could do a flyer detachment, like jump packs and stuff.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. I would have rather them just come up with a data sheet fix for Space Marines and instead of actually doing a new detachment, but a detachment that is a better version of the veteran Vanguard, because that detachment is hot garbage. But it'd be cool to have a Terminator center because they keep lowering the price of all these Terminator units, but they're just still not good. You know what I mean?
I just wonder what they're going to do because, like I said at the beginning of this, these detachments are supposed to be thematic detachments. So how are they going to theme it?
What if they don't give an Armoric attempt?
That's crazy talk.
Can they do that?
Then nobody would take it.
Yeah, I don't know. Space Marines will probably be some sort of nonsense. It might be like an Ultramarines focused detachment because they just came up with that cinematic trailer for that Ultramarine thing. I don't even know what it is.
It's Secret Level. It's a Netflix show that's coming out.
Yeah, so maybe it'll be Ultramarines. You kill orcs better if you're blue. That'd be pretty cool.
You have to have Titus. You have to have Titus in your list, and then you can play it.
Dude, I'd allow it.
But here's what they're going to do. Big brain moment here. Imperial Knights are going to get Bondsman back.
It would not be the worst decision they've ever made.
Imperial Knights already kind of almost have 2 detachments, right? Oh no, because that's their army rule.
The army rule is that you can either get rerolls or you can move an inch faster.
And this is a total rumor, but I heard the Tyranid rumor is they're going to get a detachment where they can take Gene Stealers.
I kind of wish that they would have a shooting detachment. We used to have Chronos that was really helpful for shooting models, and we don't really have anything like that. So I kind of like to see a Chronos themed fleet.
I've heard speculation that the Custodes detachment is going to be bike, which would make sense because the bikes and the dreads are kind of left out to rot right now.
Yeah, and people really like those. I objectively hate Custodes bikes, but I feel bad because people do like them, and I want people to have their fun. But I wonder, are they going to do just one for Space Marines? Or are they going to do one for Blood Angels, one for Space Wolves, one for Dark Angels as well?
So they only said 30, and there's a limited number they can do, so I don't know.
On the same tack as Marines, what are they going to do for CSM? Because CSM also has 7 or 8.
Emperor's Children?
I guess.
They don't have an attachment for Emperor's Children. That would be pretty cool.
What would you like to see for Tau?
I'd like to see something that makes them tougher, because right now Tau is very much a victim of the toughness upgrades, I think. Crisis Suits staying at T5 is really not where they should be. The Riptide at T9, putting it on par with a Rhino. Even the Storm Surge is a giant, Knight equivalent, and it's only T11 instead of every other Knight equivalent that's T12. So I'd like to see something that just makes all the vehicles tougher, against incoming attacks, and gives them something to do besides just shoot harder.
What if when you're guided, you would get like armor contempt like rule, and the unit that is guiding gets a feel no pain. Like the units that on the front line gets dug in, so they get to be tougher, and the unit that is in the back gets warned against oncoming attacks.
I mean, it'd be neat. Definitely just have to see how it plays out. But yeah, right now it just feels like their tanks and their big robots are very, very average or below average in durability. So it would be nice to have something that makes them feel like giant tanks and robots.
It's kind of hard to come up with new detachments for all the factions that already have codexes, because like you're comparing an army that only has one detachment to an army that might have up to 8, which is weird. Just like, what would Sisters get? Bloody Rose?
Well, that's sort of Penitent Host. It would be nice to buff melee in general and not be forced to take the Penitent ones. I think Death Guard are going to struggle, because right now their detachment's the one that gives them the buffed contagion, and I don't see a detachment. It would have to be really good to be better than that, because right now, because we saw how they were before they got the aura of like -1 weapon skill and aura of -1 save.
They were non-existent.
It would have to be something really on par with that.
But keep in mind, these detachments are realistically aren't necessarily meant to be good, quote unquote. They're meant to be fun. So I'm not expecting a good detachment for everybody.
So what I'm hearing is they're all going to be terrible. This is going to be the biggest non sequitur we've seen in all year.
They're going to pick a keyword out of a hat, make an attachment about it, and call it a day.
Yeah.
I'm going to call it, I'm going to say there's going to be 2 that'll just be fucking outstanding that people are going to take. I don't know for what armies, but we're going to find a couple that work entirely too well, and it's just going to overrun.
Grey Knights and Chaos Knights.
I was going to say Chaos Knights, because any detachment is better than their current detachment. That thing is hot garbage.
They have that one good strat.
They have one good strat. I agree.
I mean, Custodes just won the championships. I mean, they must be fine, right?
Nerf Custodes, obviously.
Play the game, roll those dice, just roll the best numbers you can roll and you win.
Drukhari is going to have 3 detachments, and they're not going to have a codex yet. Their codex is going to give them 1 more detachment.
What would World Eaters get? A no Angron detachment?
Yeah, probably like a Jackal and Berserker one.
An excuse to actually run Berserkers, you mean?
You can give them Karn.
You can legally give them Karn.
Yeah, you can. It's a bad choice, but you can. Most everybody is running either now, I've seen a lot of Terminators, or just oops, all 8-bound.
I think the Terminator players are just running them because they're bored. I have played against a list with 20, and I was not impressed.
Well, yeah, there's no synergy in the army with Terminators. It's literally just a Terminator body that's a little faster and hits harder, I guess, but that's just because it's World Eater.
Or you can just run all Chaos Bond and Forge Fiends, and, you're set.
But again, it's going to have to be a really good detachment to beat out +1 strength, +1 attack.
Dean Sinbach swears by 30 Terminators. He thinks that they're great. He thinks they're better than 8-bound.
I don't think they're better than 8-bound. I think they can do a job 8-bound. I think they can hold better than 8-bound, but I don't know that it's worth the points. Because, if I just kill you off the point, it doesn't matter.
I mean, they're definitely better at holding points than Exalted 8-bound are. But I think that if it's going to be a thematic thing for World Eaters, I think something like giving them all precision, because they're like, we're gonna kill characters.
Yeah.
And like, whenever you kill a character, you get a roll on the blood chart.
Any other armies you want to touch on that you think will get a specific detachment, though?
I hope that they give Votan a new detachment, because Votan don't have one right now. Like, getting 3 extra CP.
Well, they get 3 extra judgment, or I guess 6 judgment tokens, because you get to judge 3 units.
No, I think that's the army rule.
No, the army rule is the judgment tokens give you +1 to hit and +1 to wound. The detachment is that you get to pick extra units to put them on.
Ow. Yeah, that's good, I guess.
I mean, Votan are actually doing decent, too, though.
And their strats in that detachment are pretty good. Like, they have armor contempt, they have sustain, they have some decent stuff.
I mean, you gotta like the playstyle. You gotta like shooting stuff, because that's really all they do. I mean,
Ardor said it best. All of their rules can be found on page 1 of the core rulebook.
Yeah.
They have, like, scout and sustained hits, and that's it.
Yeah, they just show up and play fair Warhammer.
they just got Scout. I mean, that's new.
Do they advance and... No, they do not advance and do anything.
Do they fall back? Nope.
No.
Do they have crit fight? Nope.
No.
Do they reroll? Nope.
They do have that weird conversion rule. That's like the only weird interaction they have.
So what would they get as another detachment? Because they only have so many models, and they all see play generally.
Maybe it'll be something that gives them assault.
It will be something for the one named character. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what comes out. I'm curious what comes out that first week.
You can advance and shoot something if it has a judgment token.
I mean, it just goes back to the same problem, though, is that if you don't start with judgment tokens on anything, then your army roll doesn't kick on until you're dead.
Yeah, the whole you give yourself 3 extra judge targets at the start of the game. It really only helps like fix a broken mechanic, right? The issue of the core of Votann is that you can't really give people judgment tokens except for by sacrificing units, and like your opponent has a little bit of control over how they kill those units.
What's their battle line? Is that the Hearthguard? What if their detachment rule Hearthkin was that for each Hearthkin unit on an objective, you got to pass out a judgment token?
They could just put that on the data sheet, honestly.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I don't giving yourself the ability to give out at least minimum 1 judgment token per turn, assuming your opponent doesn't do anything, would be helpful.
They can do that with an enhancement, but it would be nice to have a way to do it in the army and not locked to a detachment.
Well, it's not a real judgment token. It's like anything that's on this point.
Yeah,
it
counts as
it's
having
considered
one.
having 1 more than it actually does. So it's like, yeah, like that's great until they kill that guy, and then no one else gets that ever again.
Well, a little bit different. I found somebody who actually ran Uther.
What a lunatic.
That
Uthar
model
is
does
terrible.
not do anything.
Then one person ran a Grimnir.
That's just a cool model, at least.
It is. Grimnir's a very cool model. Who doesn't like dwarf wizards?
Cowards.
Very true. Cowards probably would not. Okay, gotta ask the important question here. What are orcs gonna get?
Shooty detachment, that's not Dread Mob, probably. Or nothing, I would be fine with nothing.
They get a Christmas detachment where you can run all the Christmas guys?
The Red Gobbo.
Hope they get a Gretchen detachment.
Get all those Grot tanks out of Legends.
I would love for them to have a Red Gabo based attachment, and then like you can't run.
He
the
just
Red
stays
Gabo.
in Legends.
I mean, he's very good. If like Orc players would 100% take him if he was out of Legends, but like what a new and fancy way to shit on Orcs. It's like, no, you guys cannot. Your detachment relies on you having the Red Gabo as your warlord, and you can't take him.
And you can't buy him anymore, sorry, because it's out of season.
Thousand Sons obviously will have +1 to hit and wound against any opponents that have vacuum cleaners because they don't like to be dusted up. Yeah, I think that we're just like facing like a new and exciting world of random nonsense. Like I think that 80% of these detachments will be just nonsensically weird.
They're just, like I said, they're just gonna pick a keyword in the book and make a detachment about it.
Yep. They're like, Drukari, people really like
Mounted units.
mounted. Those
Hellions.
Green Goblin guys.
And the Reavers.
It's the 30 Hellion the 30 Hellion meta, boys. Let's go.
Yeah, I
Mounted
agree
units
with
get
Michael on it.
anti-monster, anti-vehicle 4+.
Get out of here. I don't want that.
I agree with Michael that they're just going to pick. There's going to be 2 random detachments that are themed around some random unit that is just slightly too efficient, and then the detachment's going to make them ridiculous, and that's just going to be the new meta for that army.
And it's going to be Space Marines. 80% win rate.
Phobos units get devastating wounds on all weapons and attacks.
Isn't Vanguard already the Phobos detachment?
Yeah, but they already have, like we already said, they already have an attachment for everything. They're going to have to double up somehow.
They don't have a detachment for aircraft. And there's a lot of Space Marine aircraft.
Give them the Pokemon detachment. Let them just run everything, like every sub-faction in one army.
The Blood Ravens detachment.
They probably could do like a Dreadnought detachment. I know they kind of have the Iron Storm, but like...
It doesn't buff the Dreads, it just gives them a reroll.
I mean, they're probably just going to get the Death Watch detachment, quite honestly.
I mean, giving you the anti keyword against a third of the armies out there is pretty good. Anti-Xenos.
That was so obnoxious. I played Death Watch once. Actually, I played them twice, because I played them back in Nova 2 years ago when they were actually good. But I just showed up, and I was like, cool, so your guys who are normally bad are actually really good because you get to reroll all your hits.
Yeah, that sounds fair.
He was like, I'm going to oath this target, and I'm going to enhancement to double oath this target, and then, these 3 squads all reroll hits, so I'm actually going to attack 5 units, and all 5 of these units are going to have full hit and wound rerolls. I was like, oh, that's interesting. I'm glad I played this army and not a different army.
Yeah, you should have played Tau instead. Oh, wait.
Ah.
They are also Xenos.
Just roll 6s on your saves, man.
I watched 6 Inceptors come down and kill a Riptide, and I was just like, oh, okay.
All right, we can wrap. Last comments. Anybody have any comments about the championship or what we expect to see in the next month or reveals? Anybody have any thoughts?
Pretty sure there are still some army boxes on Warpfire Minis. Use our referral code to have a great time and support the podcast at no additional charge to yourself.
Except I need you to say that correctly again, but say affiliate link because it's different.
Our affiliate link is what I said.
Just have the editor splice it in there.
It's an affiliate link, not a referral code. Just, if you're going to shill correctly, Mason. Come on, man.
I did a bad job. I'm sorry.
At least you tried.
Don't edit this out. It'll let everyone know how much of a failure I am.
We appreciate it, Mason. Alex, any last thoughts on Tyranids?
Yeah, buy your Harridans now, because Harridan stocks are going up for sure.
And sell all your Norns?
Yes, don't even think about buying them. They're terrible.
The rumor has it that I just made up is that there will be a plastic Harridan kit next year.
Don't get my hopes up like that.
There's not going to be a plastic Harridan kit, but it's fun to say.
Even the mere idea of it's fun.
People did assume at one point that a Baneblade would never come out in plastic, and look at that.
People need to run more Baneblades, I think. I want to see a 3 Baneblade list, okay?
I played 3 Baneblade lists with my World Eaters once, and it was a very fun game, I think, for both of us. It was definitely a fun game for me, because World Eaters, but...
Preston, any last words about your new favorite army, Admech?
I hope that their new detachment doesn't make them broken and then they nerf the army, because that's happened with the last, 3 armies I bought.
I hope you're nerfed into the ground, for no reason. You're just nerfed.
Well, maybe Preston, maybe Michael or Will can get you some game aids for your command phase.
Yeah.
Remember what buffs you give.
An entire bottle of resin to get all of the different tokens that you can need.
Yeah, it'd be FDM, so it's like a kilogram spool of filament that's needed. But yes, we can do that actually. We have the technology. So yeah, if anybody has any questions about anything we said, you want to reach out to us, you want to talk to us, you want to tell us how badly we suck, join our Discord in the show notes. Email us at openplaypodcast@gmail.com. Send me a message. I'll send you the affiliate link directly. I will tell you how to buy things on Fire Minis. I will do everything for you except actually purchase the models. But yeah, join the Discord. I'll be starting some TTS leagues here shortly, probably after the new year. I'll be hosting them on the Discord, so join the Discord if you want to play TTS and you want to, destroy a World Eaters player that's bad like myself. And yeah, reach out, talk to us, and we will talk in a couple of weeks and see where we are then. Everybody have a good week. If you're in the US, have a happy Thanksgiving if you're listening to this before Thanksgiving. And if you're listening to this episode in a year from now, hey, I hope your Thanksgiving was good and your next one's just as good. Also, happy early birthday, Preston.
Yippee!
He's almost going to be an adult. All right, y'all. Have a good night. Have a good week. Have fun.
See y'all next time.
Have a good night, gang.
Thanks for listening.